Okay, so I think we're now recording. Welcome to this podcast hosted by Ingram Micro with Neil Bowlers from AMD, talking about the benefits and competitive advantage partners can get by utilising AMD processors in the Dell PowerEdge range of servers. Neil has kindly agreed to join me to talk through some of these benefits. So welcome, Neil.
Thank you very much, David. This is the second one now, so you'll be getting used to my dulcet northern tones.
Yeah, luckily I was born up that neck of the woods, so it's not an alien language to me, although it is for many, so Jack maybe needs to subtitle it. Let's dive straight in, Neil. I'm really interested to understand more about the AMD and Dell joint proposition. What kind of advantages resellers and solutions providers will benefit from by utilising AMD in the Dell PowerEdge range of servers?
Right, yeah, well, that's a good starting point. I'll briefly go through the advantage of buying the Dell over other people. Basically, with Dell, they're the first ones that have got 5 actual servers, which is 2-3 more than the other OEMs, if you prefer. They're the only manufacturer that has developed the Rome on Rome concept, which I'll briefly explain that. On the roadmap with AMD, we started off with Naples, Rome, Milan is the next one, which is developed and nearly ready. However, other OEMs have what they call Rome on Naples, so it's the same server with the Rome processor placed into it, if you like. Whereas Dell are the only ones that have developed it right for Rome. So therefore, obviously, it runs a bit quicker, it runs better, and it's just ideal. Also, for Dell being number one in the Gartner in the server business, it's an absolutely amazing partnership. So, like I said, we do five ranges with them, varying in where you can aim them for the market. I will be sending slides to attach for the podcast, so you can actually see them as well. So, and that will indicate where they differentiate against the others. So that's just a rough overview of why Dell is probably the best one to go for.
Okay, fantastic. So security is as ever a hot topic. So can you let me know what AMD have done or are doing to kind of mitigate any threats out there from a security perspective?
Yeah, and this works nicely with Dell as well, which I can. I'll go into the next one if we mention performance. AMD, we was in the market. A lot of people will know of processors from way back. We got a new chairman in. She'd scrapped the old methods, decided to rebuild, start again, and not become a follower. So what we did, we completely redesigned it, built it from a new silicon development, which has allowed us to bring the first 7nm processor in, which has currently got roughly 140 world records. One of the key features with ourselves is you've probably heard recently of a lot of security issues where people are getting swiped insidewards, people are getting zombie load, for example. AMD processors have not been prone to any of those. Purely and simply because we have 3 key messages for our processors. We have a secure root of trust technology, so it always boots from a secure trust. So basically every time it boots fresh, so nobody can get into that side of the boot. We also have secure memory encryption, so it helps protect. So that basically stops anybody coming into the memory to hack in the memory. And one of the key features as well, especially with Microsoft Azure in the cloud, we do a secure encrypted virtualization, which basically means we can encrypt up to 509 virtual machines on one processor. So again, 2 processors, 509 times 2. So even the virtual Azure, we've got the security. The beauty of ours is, in fact, we've not been prone to any of the attacks that other people have possibly come across due to the security. One of the key things with the Dell as well is Dell have a very secure boot up. So with a Dell's PowerEdge server, and the AMD security, what basically happens is Dell switch it on. So hang on, we'll check the boot. That looks good. Over to AMD. AMD then check it. So basically, they go back to Dell and say, "Thanks, Mr. Dell. Everything's fine. Let's kick in." I mean, that's obviously, and that's why it's very secure on a Dell system, because they talk to each other. So it's like a two-way security thing. So that's why there's a lot of the people now adopting our things, because of that, purely and simply the advanced security features. Again, there's more information on websites, which for more people want to go in more depth, because obviously this is just a quick podcast, and they'll be at the end of the slide where they can get more information. But the security issue is probably our biggest strength.
Fantastic. Okay. So as well as the security, what sort of performance benefits are associated to using AMD processors in Dell servers?
In Dell servers, the thing is with our I'll put my teeth in performance, is we can perform better against an Intel 2 processor. So the way Dell works, we have a 1 processor and a 2 processor system, depending on your workloads and where it wants to go. Now, we don't do the comparisons. The comparisons have been done by separate companies who do this sort of thing for Gartner. And there's a basic chart that we use where, for an AMD 1 processor, it outperforms a high-level Intel 2 processor servers. The beauty of that is you're getting the same sort of performance, a better performance with just 1 processor. Therefore, obviously, it works quicker. It's more efficient, and it's better. You know, it gives you the flexibility of your budget to increase at any time. So that's really the key issue with our performance, is we can perform as well on a 1 processor versus Intel's 2 processors. So again, you've got half the licensing costs, you've got half, you've got half the cost of buying the processor, and so that's probably the key message for the AMD one processor as well. So,
sounds awesome. So you mentioned there's some savings there due to the 1 processor competing versus 2. So overall, how does AMD compare from a price or cost effectiveness perspective and overall ROI?
It used to be the 1 processor. I mean, Intel, we know, do the bronze, silver, and gold sort of setup. We don't do anything like that. We just have a processor series 7002 series, so it doesn't matter how many cores it is, you get the same thing going up the scale. So there's no special variations and as such. For the 90% of the processors and the servers that are out there, Dell obviously are very competitive, so we're very pleased to have such a really good sort of partnership with them. It's worked out really, really well, and they were probably one of the first ones to put us into the machines and obviously keep the costs down as well. Intel have dropped prices, because if you think about it, for 10 years or 5 years, they had no competition, because we just literally pulled out of the market instead of following. We sort of like rebuilt it from ground upwards.
Yeah.
So price-wise, if you compare a single socket AMD, say, processes roughly $530, $530 compared against the Intel's 800 and odd. If you think that you're buying two of the 800 pounds, £1,600, 500 is a massive saving. So you're halving the cost. You're also getting much more efficiency as well and performance. So even what we've said to people is, if obviously slightly different for distribution, but if people are up against deal regis, for example, and can be classed as a slightly different project, and you sort of like do a deal reg versus standard pricing, you can still find that the AMD with a standard pricing will come out very, very close, if not less than the deal reg Intel price. So that's just something to consider. It doesn't always work, but you're not losing anything by trying. We have also got to help out with price and cost is called a TCO tool, which basically compares the prices as a rough guess. And we also have a selector tool, so you can tap in your Intel processor and you can tap in which one of the AMD. So it's quite easy to use as well, to compare as well, which the link will be on at the end as well. So overall, that's where we're just security, performance, and price. And I think, if people look at it, we're not the old Dell. There's a lot of people in this business who've been around a while, and AMD used to overheat, but that was the standard thing that they used to get many, many years ago, and that has all changed. Like I said, we've got 140 world records, independently checked, not done. In fact, one of our field engineers actually got one of the world records by accident. He was just trying something and found out he got a world record. So
Got to be good if you're getting them by accident. Fantastic.
Yeah, he did. So that's why. Yeah. So, but it's just like I said, it's just to make people aware that yes, we're back. We're not going anywhere. We have a good roadmap. Milan's in operation, and then there is another, what we call the Zen 4, which is in development. So who knows what's going on? But certainly the Rome processor it's outperformed our expectations. It was actually better than what we expected, which is quite good to say.
Brilliant.
So I would recommend anybody to, think about, even we'll go back to the old client one of dual quoting. If you do get any quotes, offer them the Intel proposition. You've nothing lost, and you might gain, and you might get your customer. They'll be happy to deal with you more.
Yeah. Okay. Fantastic. So, summary: long-standing relationship with Dell. So there's some heritage there, and good innovation on both parts, which makes the AMD Dell servers very, very secure. Very, very good performance, and from a cost basis, you can do more with less, and therefore the overall TCO is lower and the ROI is realised quicker. But I'm greedy, so what offers have you got on for partners?
No, we're talking.
So, really take advantage of what you guys have got to offer.
Well, we just got off an absolutely brilliant processor, but with Dell now, we have now got an offer where they've added us onto the smart value, so there's extra discounts onto that.
Okay, good.
So I've attached that. So that's 6515, the 6525. In fact, all the range are on the smart value. So there's little bundles there. Now, the other offer that's come on, which is only at the moment really on the Dell, is what's called the Microsoft server. We used to, when VMware, they used to charge by the processor. So we used to be able to say we could half the costs of operating. VMware then decided to go core count, so that took a bit of our edge away, but we were still outperforming and still better TCOs. Now Microsoft, obviously with their server licenses, came out with an offer, because everything we do is 64 core, so that was going to become inexpensive to be honest, because what Microsoft charged by the server. So what they've come out with, so for any one socket servers, your customer licenses the first 32 cores. Now, any additional licenses on top of that come free of charge for the length of time of the server. So also for the 2 socket servers, which the customer would license the first 64 cores, and again, any additional ones are free for the lifetime of the server. Now, this offer, it's obviously potential cost savings of up to 50%. And that runs till the end of the year. Now, at the moment, it is available for other OEMs. However, Dell are the only, I believe, at this time of broadcast, are the only people that have got the system set up to actually utilise it. So if somebody's going for a Windows server, then 2019, then definitely it's worth looking at for costings. And it's not just an offer, and then it's for the lifetime of the server, or the lifetime of the server, or the Windows Server process. It's whichever's first. So those are 2 good offers at the moment, and there's plenty of others available. If you go via the Dell pages, there's offers on there as well. Cashback for customers, there's a lot more offers than there used to be, so it's well worth having a look on the Dell side for that. But like I said, they're the only ones at the moment that are actually using the Microsoft Server offer, so that is certainly worth looking at for people. It is available for other OEMs, however, they've not had the systems to bring it in where Dell jumped on it straight away. So another reason to get Dell savings and that and service. So yeah, it's all in all, it's a good time for us.
Neil, thank you very much. Sounds very compelling. And just a quick, call to action for any partners listening is if you want to know any more information about the Dell and AMD relationship, or have any opportunities that you'd like support on, or just want to know more about using AMD in Dell servers, then just drop an email to dellenterprise@ingrammicro.com, and a member of our specialist team will pick it up and answer it for you. But Neil, thank you very much for your time.
It's been a pleasure.
And I look forward to seeing you again soon.
Thank you very much, David. You take care.
Cheers. Bye-bye.